Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, whatever day it is. Thank you guys so much for being here. Praying for peace and this lunacy to stop. I completely agree. Today, we're going to be talking about the war in Iran, the updates, President Trump possibly losing his actual mind. And we're going to get into all of it right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. So let's just go ahead and get into it. My microphone is plugged in this time, believe it or not. And of course, hanging on by a matcha. Tennessee, Jessom said, Danny, I watched you live on election night when as a country we thought we were making a needed change. My heart breaks for the innocent lives that have been and could be lost in this mess. Tennessee Jessom, thank you so much. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is exactly right. I voted for President Trump. Many people voted for President Trump on the pretext that we were going to get no new endless wars. We were no longer going led by the global elites and the warmongers or whatever you want to call it. And now it feels like we were trying to stop our country from being invaded at the border. And now it feels like we are fighting against destruction from within. That's what it feels like. There are people out there that are saying that President Trump is purposely crashing the economy so that we will end up having to form the new world order and have a one global order that is no longer run by a democracy, and that he's doing this in cahoots with the other world leaders. That is something that David Icke, one of the fathers of conspiracists, have said, more so than Alex Jones. There are people that believe that President Trump has been infiltrated, and there's a lot of different theories on this. There are people saying that they Joe Biden him, that this is a body double. The warmongers have taken over like Voldemort from Harry Potter. And he is just a skin that they are using to push their agenda. And then other people are bringing up the fact that President Trump did not put his hand on the Bible when he was sworn in this time around. Tucker Carlson has actually brought that to our attention. And he said he no longer believes that President Trump is for the people. He's disgusted with President Trump. And, you know, I was on TikTok live. Yes, on election night, but I was on TikTok live every night pushing President Trump after RFK Jr. joined his campaign. I wanted the MAGA movement, more importantly, over everything. I wanted to stand up for our farmers. And I was invited to the Tucker Carlson Donald Trump Halloween event. I was there, sitting second row. I was invited there. So I don't blame Tucker Carlson for feeling like he was rug pulled and he was bait and switched, because let's be honest, Theo Vaughn, Tucker Carlson, all of these people that have great influence that are now like calling out what's going on, they helped get him elected. Here is the first photo in 2017 of President Trump with Melania, with his hand on the Bible being sworn in. And then down below, you can see in 2025, hand is not on the Bible. And also 2020, hindsight is 2020, right? Look at the way Melania is dressed. Remember we were saying, oh, she's a gangster. She's coming in for revenge because they went against him and this and that. Maybe, or maybe they both went to the evil side and they knew it, and they were going to be carrying out this satanic agenda for the global elites and the warmongers. It's hard to say. But it does seem that he's off the rails. He's completely lost it. And I don't know if that is because he, like I said, is carrying out this agenda, or if they're going to say that he's incompetent so that JD Vance can take over because he's obviously going to lose the midterms. The midterms are gone. Not that anybody even cares about that. All anybody should care about is world peace. But notice JD Vance has been very quiet. Also, my mom brought this up. His family has been crickets. You have not even heard Don Jr.'s not tweeting out. You had Kaya Trump or whatever, the granddaughter, right? You had all the Trump kids all the time tweeting out, my dad. Basically, since Charlie Kirk's in, silence. Just from a lot of the supporters, but from his own family. And you have to wonder, what are they thinking? Where are they? Do they also feel like they were bait and switched, or are they in on it? But you haven't heard a peep. Is that by design? Or are they just trying to stay out of it at this point? Going in, maybe they thought, oh my gosh, my father's going to save the country. And now there's the realization that he might be running it into the ground along with the rest of the world. Tucker Carlson had a visceral reaction to President Trump's tweet on Easter Sunday. And I think many of us did. I luckily had disconnected from social media on Easter Sunday to spend it with my newborn son and my family, and it was beautiful. And I hope a lot of you guys had a great holiday weekend. But then I log back in on Monday and I see this and I just go, what is going on? I want to read a comment from Christy Ant 4412. Good to see you. Well, he did say he wasn't going to heaven, so there's that. Remember when he said that on Air Force One and everybody goes, what? You just created the Board of Peace. That's what was going on at the time. We're creating the Board of Peace. But he said, oh, I'm not going to heaven. I've said this many times. I'm not trying to get in with advertisers. I'm not trying to get in with political party. I'm not trying to get in really with anybody except for God. The only thing that matters to me at the end of the day is getting into heaven. So the fact that he said that, and you have all these people that are high up, Tucker Carlson, all these, believing this is a spiritual war, believing that heaven is real. If you believe it's a spiritual war, you believe that heaven is real, guess what? You also believe in the devil. You also believe in fallen angels. You also believe in Satan. So did he make a deal? Why would you say, you know, you're not getting into heaven? It is an interesting thing. But let's go ahead and listen to Tucker Carlson's Easter Sunday rant. And I know it's longer than this, but this is just a blurb.
There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight. How dare you speak that way on Easter morning to the country? Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? You'll be living in hell, as if hell is a place. Hell is a condition, and this is an example of that condition. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. You're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war, that's a good idea. The message of all faith at the biggest picture level is the message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. This is a mockery, not just of Islam. It's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning, promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it, you are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that.
No, we absolutely cannot support that. And a lot of people have seen that and they say that Tucker Carlson is saying that he believes that President Trump is the Antichrist and that is what he's alluding to. Now, I don't know if you guys think that in the chat, but a lot of people are saying, without saying it, that's what Tucker Carlson is saying. Who are you? Who do you think you are to do this? Yes, Chrysanthemug, Tucker Carlson did go max. And this, of course, is after Theo Von challenged Joe Rogan on his show and said, what is going on? And it's interesting to see that there's different people that are choosing to stand up and say, hey, I voted for this guy with the best intentions. I wanted to vote for no forever wars. I wanted to vote for, and we should have known with the big, beautiful bill, right? We should have known with the big, beautiful bill. We wanted to end the debt. We wanted to invest in America. This was supposed to be an America first administration. Republicans were sick of sending money to Ukraine. And now you have some of them like, send it to Israel. No, it's the same thing. You're either for America first, you're against war, or you're not. You're either sane, you can admit when you're wrong. You can say, hey, looking back, maybe I should have listened to Nick Fuentes and David Icke that were saying, you're going to elect the Antichrist. Nick Fuentes had said, it would have been better for the country if we would have elected Kamala Harris, because then people would have been in the streets. People would have known the elections are rigged, right? All the MAGA supporters would have been in the streets and said the elections are rigged, and maybe then we would have had a real revolution. Now it almost feels like we're too far deep. But for those of you that have been with me for a long time, I always believe in the light. I always believe in the good. And I do believe that with the power of prayer and our voices being loud and the trailblazers and the leaders like Tucker Carlson and Theo Von and Candace Owens that are sounding the alarm and saying, no, this is not right. I don't agree with this. I will not support these wars. Maybe, just maybe, we can turn the ship around. No, the frame is small, and I do need to figure out how to fix that. Someone asked that. So, I don't know. But that's not the only thing that has happened since Easter Sunday. Remember, it is only Tuesday, and President Trump put out this absolutely absurd tweet. A whole civilization will die tonight, never be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. This guy is, this is deranged to me. And I saw Mario Narwhal on X, one of the big journalists, say that he believes that this is just Trump's negotiation tactics. That's what he said. And that's what he's praying for. I hope, but I don't feel confident in that. I don't feel confident that this is Trump's negotiation tactics. I'm concerned. And the people that are just saying, blindly trust him, put your faith. Why? Why would I do that? I don't trust the government, period. I don't trust people in general, period. But you're putting out a tweet like that? Tennessee said, a lot of the churches have been preaching that Trump is the new Messiah, so sick, and my grandma is convinced. I mean, there's propaganda on both sides. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. So President Trump tweets that and basically says, we're going to bomb Iran's energy infrastructure. And this is Iran's response. They have now formed chains of their bodies over their bridges that were threatened. to make sure that they are not bombed. And they are also doing this over their energy infrastructures to try in every way that they can to make sure that their civilization is not ended tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That was the deadline that President Trump gave. He's given a lot of deadlines and then he's extended. Let's hope that's the case in this situation. But how brave are these people? Little kids are out here fighting for their human rights. These are innocent people. These governments are going to war with one another. I don't care what country you live in. I don't think the people are represented by their leaders. Maybe in El Salvador. Maybe there's one or two countries out there. But in general, people say drain the swamp. We swamp. But that's basically what the conspiracy theory is with the New World Order and Agenda 2030 put out by the World Economic Forum. Is that we're going to make things so bad for the people of the world. There's two theories here. We're going to make the world so bad that we have to unite as one, and the people will beg to be one, and then we're going to have the 15-minute cities and the energy rationing, and you can only go this far, which also leads into the conspiracy theories right now that's going on about why are the data centers so big? You have these tech experts going, you don't need data centers this big. Are they going to put people in? Are these going to be concentration camps? Why are these data centers being built everywhere? Why are they so big? So that's one theory joined with another, with the data theory. Another one is Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is leaked CIA documents, declassified CIA documents from the late 1960s, early 1970s. They came out that the CIA said we can use aliens to scare the population into doing whatever we want using holographic technology. And so for years, conspiracy theorists have been sounding the alarm, saying that we need to be careful because the government is going to use a fake alien invasion to scare the population into a one world government. Because then it will be us versus the aliens. And you have Artemis up there with the fucking Nutella flown through the sky and the green screen ball, another fake moon landing or whatever it is. And, there's people out there that say, oh yes, the governments are going to do this. They're going to say aliens are coming. And they're going to say not only is it one world government against the aliens, but they're also going to say the aliens have a virus. You have to get a vaccine for it. What would it be if the pharmaceutical companies couldn't profit, right? There will be an alien vaccine, okay? It doesn't end with alien invasion. You've got to get the antidote. I'm just forewarning you that that's part of the word on the street. Okay? Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, they're gearing up for the alien vaccine. Can you imagine? I say this facetiously. Can you imagine? Because we can. We can imagine. Because the Truman Show that we have been living in is so insane that at this point, it's like, yeah, I can see it. I can absolutely see it. And here's Klaus Schwab, the owner of the World Economic Forum, last year talking about how the world will no longer be run by superpowers like America. It will be run by the World Economic Forum and its stakeholders. Remember, Larry Fink now, the CEO of BlackRock, is now the interim CEO of the World Economic Forum. Bill Gates and the rest of the global elite. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? That's what we want. Let's watch this.
who will really command the fourth industrial revolution and its technology like artificial intelligence.
What's your sense of who's best placed at this time to lead the world into the fourth industrial revolution? Because you pretty much created this term. We're seeing the kind of technological strides that China has made with Huawei, with the 5G technology. Do you believe that this could potentially be China's time once again?
We should make here again let's say a differentiation. On the one hand, we have state capitalism. On the other hand, we have shareholder or private capitalism. So it's a clash between two systems. I believe that state capitalism in the short term provides certain advantages because you can mobilize in a concentrated way a lot of resources to reach a specific objective. But I believe that the future is not state capitalism or shareholder capitalism. The future is what I call stakeholder capitalism, which is combined with the social responsibility.
That's just what we need. We need BlackRock. We need Bill Gates, the guy that's funding GMO mosquitoes to run the world. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? And that would be wonderful. And by the way, after President Trump's tweet saying that he's going to end a civilization, which is just sick, that tweet alone, you know, Mario Narwhal, these people, they're saying, oh, it's a negotiation tactic. If it is, it's sick and it's evil, and it's a satanic negotiation tactic. And speaking of sick and evil, Channel 13 News in Israel has a countdown clock for Donald Trump's deadline. That's right. Here's Trump's face. They have a countdown clock, and they're just all sitting around. Good morning, Israel. Oh my gosh, the countdown clock goes. What will happen? Will Iran be gone? I mean, this is the sickest stuff you've ever seen in your life. These people are acting like it's New Year's Eve. A nuke countdown clock? We've really lost the plot. We've really lost the plot. And again, to Tucker Carlson's credit, Tucker Carlson is saying, please, Trump's advisors, take away the nuclear codes from President Trump. He's begging them. He says, sorry, there's probably an Amazon package. To the people, hey, quiet. I don't know. To the people who are in direct contact with the president, hold on. Coco, stop. It's always the smallest dog that gets the other dogs going. Let's just, Coco, are you going to stop? You're in the microphone now. No. She's unhappy with what's going on in the world. She's unhappy. So she has to let you know. No more. All right. Well, anyways, I wanted to show you at least her cute face so you're not annoyed that you're being disrupted. Back to this. The people who are in direct contact with the president need to say, no, I'll resign. I'll do whatever I can legally do to stop this because this is insane. And if given the order, I'm not carrying it out. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I'm sorry. Now, go to your bed. Go to your bed. Now, go to your bed. Lay down. Shh. Quiet. All I can say is that I have vocal dogs like myself. I've trained them to be loud, and so they are. And they're not trainable either. I mean, I might have done this. I don't know. Figure out the codes on the football yourself because everything hangs in the balance right now. This is not hysteria. This is 100% real. So I don't think that's a bad idea. He's also urging the military to step down. Thank you. You guys are saying we are pet friendly. I appreciate it. You think it would be my newborn crying, but no, it's my 3 dogs. By the way, little side story. My beagle, who's my youngest, my baby of my dogs, had a back injury since my baby boy was born. And I've done a very good job of trying to make sure that everybody's getting the attention that they need. And I've realized that it might be an emotional back injury because I took him out on a one-on-one date and now the back pain has subsided. So I don't know what's going on. I want to read some of your guys' comments. Those are free people on the bridge. Iranian children have bombs strapped to them at times. Iran's government sending innocent people to bomb targets. America would never. That's what sets us apart. Noticing is becoming a crime now. It absolutely is. And then we are pet friendly. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab organization, is not just talking about the New World Order and who's going to take over, but they're also saying that water, soil, and oxygen should not be infinitely acceptable. These are assets that should be included in global economic balance sheets. This is not satire. This is not a joke. Here this is here.
We tend to think only about financial capital, about cash, financial assets, but we know that's not the only value on which our economies depend. We know that every aspect of every part of the economy is fundamentally dependent on nature, as you highlighted. The air that we breathe, the water we drink, the soil, the oceans that we need for the food that we need to consume, the minerals that we need as inputs to technology and to infrastructure. And without these forms of value, these forms of natural capital, we won't have economies. They are the fundamental building blocks of our economies. But the ways, as you said, the ways in which we have grown our economies, our models of economic development, have been incredibly successful for global prosperity. But the unintended consequences of current models of growth are simply not sustainable on a finite planet. The amount of resource that we are drawing into our economies, Earth's resources, and the amount of pollution and waste that we're pumping out, whether that's through greenhouse gas emissions, whether that's sewage into our water, whether it's plastics into the ocean, is beyond the Earth's carrying capacity. And we know that that's leading, as you said, to very significant direct impacts for society, but very significant financial costs for the economy. We can look at that as you have and calculate that at a macro level. But the way that that's showing up as we're breaching these boundaries and breaching these limits and undermining nature is showing up in very practical ways that are showing up for financial risk for institutions. Lack of water is leading to disruption of operations, of supply chains where water is needed as an essential input for manufacturing or power production. The degradation of soil is leading to reduced agricultural yields. The decline of pollinator species is also having an impact on agriculture. So that's leading to direct financial risks for organizations, for businesses, and ultimately for investors. And as you said, ultimately the reason for this is at the moment the way that decisions are made on an everyday level within businesses and financial institutions is because we're looking only at financial data, financial metrics that are not factoring in nature. Nature is treated within the economy as though it's unlimited and predominantly as though it's free. And the risks and harms are simply not costed in financial terms. We can cost them at a macro level. They're not costed into day-to-day decision making. And the result is, as a consequence, we've put all of our economies at fundamental risk. We can't do business on a dead planet. If we're going to protect natural systems, one of the solutions is to bring nature onto the balance sheet, to bring nature into the ways that decisions are made within business, to allocate a value to it and to bring it into accounting and financial mechanisms.
So at first, that sounds great, right? Because it's like, oh, we need to save the planet. That's what we need to do. We need to save the planet. We need to make sure that everybody has the resources. But when you really think about it, they're saying we need to limit your resources to make sure that we save the planet. It's like, well, we're sucking on paper straws. They're bombing countries and flying around on private jets. It's hypocritical. Bill Gates went around, bought up all the farmland in the United States. He bought up all the waterways. This war is going to cause a huge energy crisis around the world, along with a farming crisis because of the fertilizer. Is this the beginning piece in the puzzle for the global elites to start to energy ration, food ration, resource ration us? And many experts are saying, yes, this is COVID 2.0. And that's very concerning. And it's like, how do we come together? Do Tucker Carlson and Theo Vaughn need to come together with Candace? Do they need to say, hey, we're protesting on this day. No more George Soros protests. We need to do this now. What needs to be done in order for us as a human race to come together and say, we're the ants, you're the grasshoppers, but we're going to overthrow you. We're living in the real life Hunger Games. We're throwing up the Mockingjay symbol and we're going to overthrow you. We're Harry Potter versus Voldemort. We're going to overthrow you. The light, I really do believe, will always win in the end. The question now is, how do we come together to get there? And don't allow them to divide us with liberal, conservative, black, white, all these constructs that are put in place to create division. You're a soul, I'm a soul. We're created equal. And therefore, we should all have peace, water, shelter, food. There's enough of that to go around. And when you look at what's going on with the oil and everybody's saying there's an energy crisis, I did a story yesterday because there's a video of a guy fueling up his gas tank, his diesel gas tank, using vegetable oil. So I went ahead and I looked into that. And what do you know? The inventor of the diesel engine and diesel fuel was a guy named Roger Diesel. And he created an engine that ran 100% on peanut oil. And he kept experimenting with it. And it could run on vegetable oil. And basically, diesel engines in cars that were born before 1995, the Gen Zs of cars, they actually can run on these different oils. Okay? But the EPA has made it illegal in the United States. I'm not saying try this at home. You have to know what you're doing. But it is possible. But of course, after 1995, the EPA said, no, the Clean Energy Act, we can't have you running your car on vegetable oil, peanut oil, recycled cooking oil. Only our oil from the big oil industries. Well, anyways, I looked into it, and Mr. Diesel disappeared in the middle of the night in 1913 when he was on a ship on his way to London to discuss with the Brits to use his patented peanut oil to fuel their submarines. Disappeared. Now, the OG conspiracy theorists of 1913, they said that the big oil industry and the Rockefellers murdered him. But of course, the official narrative was that he committed suicide. Yeah, why would a guy that invented the diesel engine and diesel fuel and presented it to the world and was known as like a genius inventor, why would he commit suicide? It's just crazy how the same thing has been happening for over 100 years. You get people that learn how to run a car on water, dead. You learn people that started to cure cancer, suicided. You know too much information, gone. It's a way that they can keep us under wraps, right? No, you have to buy gasoline. This war is going to affect gasoline. Imagine if you were a peanut farmer. We could all be farming peanuts and fueling our cars. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. I want to see if there's anything else that is happening and also find out where the countdown clock is right now. I will say that President Trump has already kind of gone back on the deadline, which he's done many times. 9 a.m. tonight, we finished the Iranian Civilization and hinted at nuke in war. And by the way, I did a story. I know people are saying peanut oil is expensive, but used cooking oil is not. It's like 25 to 50 cents a gallon, and that actually can run old diesel vehicles. And if we decided as a country that we were going to invest in peanut farmers and not war and the industrial war complex, I have a feeling we could farm a bunch of peanuts. If we put $1 trillion into peanut farming, I think we'd be fine. We wouldn't have to go into Mother Earth. The point is, let's go back to the drawing board. If in 1913 we could do it with peanuts, imagine what we could figure out what we could do now. Anyways, President Trump, 2 hours later, said if negotiations move forward today and there is something concrete, the deadline could change. How many times has he done this? Let's just hope that he continues to do this. And people are, I said that President Trump said nukes, and people are saying he didn't say nukes. He didn't say nukes. When you say you're going to end a civilization, I'm going to infer that's what you mean. And Megyn Kelly, who I've actually admired for standing up for Candace Owens and speaking out against the Charlie Kirk thing, she's clearly captured because she says, I don't even care if we nuke. I'm still going to vote Republican. You're missing the point.
Honestly, Trump could drop a nuke and I'd still vote Republican over those people because
You're
they want to
Avenue voter.
In some ways, I really am. But honestly, what they want to do is nuke our own country. It's like the open border, what they're doing to children, all that stuff is still they would do it all if put back in power. And I think most Republicans know that, which is honestly.
Oh my gosh! Look, both are bad, but obviously to say that is crazy, right? That's like I'm a Yankees fan no matter what. I'm a Dodgers fan no matter what. You guys, like that's not the way it should be. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, we'll see what happens. There's two different sides on what's going on in Iran. People are saying that the government is telling them to do this, so they're forcing the people out there, and other people are saying they're doing it on their own. But either way, these are the videos right now coming out of Iran tonight. Millions of people in the street. You're not going to see this on Fox. You're not going to see this on the news. So, I'm praying for peace. That's what I'm doing at this point. I am praying for peace, and I am hoping that this is resolved. I don't think it's better if, Trump, there's rumors that, Trump's going to get taken out and JD Vance is going to step in because they know he's going to lose the midterms, and Peter Thiel cannot allow anybody else to be in there except for JD Vance to carry out his AI agenda, which is a surveillance state. So I think right now all we can do is pray, and we can hope that more of these big leaders like Tucker Carlson and Theo Vaughn step up and join them, and we the people again can let our voices be heard around the world. I'll read some of your guys' comments, and then I'm going to go eat some lunch and hang out with my baby. The deadline is 8 p.m. tonight. And I want to thank the first comment. Christiane 4412, thank you so much for all of the blessings and love. Yaneli Hernandez said that's why I'm no fan of Megyn Kelly. The Y Files guys has an episode of all these people who they unalive because they invented alternative fuel. Exactly. In upstate New York, we have many people running their diesel truck on used new vegetable oil. You can smell them rolling down the street. And, this is my point, is that the EPA says, oh my God, that's so bad for the environment. Not worse than war. Not worse than dropping bombs. So let's revisit the drawing board and figure out what we can do here. Anyways, you guys, before I get off, I am going to say a prayer for peace. Dear God, dear angels, we just pray for world peace. We pray that tonight peace prevails. We pray for all of the innocent people in the world, that they have food and shelter, that nobody is harmed, that none of their energy infrastructure is harmed, that puts them in a bad position. And we pray that a miracle can happen where there is world peace. We pray that we can get evil out of our governments, and that humanity can unite for the light to fight against the darkness. We say this in your name. Amen. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will be on the Today Show with James Lee, our podcast, on Thursday. We're going to be getting into all of this and discussing. We'll see what happens. And maybe I'll be back on later tonight, hopefully, to find out that the deadline has been extended or a deal has been made. Again, the representative in Tehran said that we're not going to have this pause. We want peace, complete peace. So I think that we all agree with that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Again, sorry for the Amazon delivery package and the 3 dogs, but I'm grateful for you guys, and I will see you soon.